Hello, and welcome to the local Lafourche. My name is Cody Gray, President and CEO of Louisiana's Cajun Bayou Tourism, the tourist commission for Lafourche Parish. And we're excited to have you join us here on a new episode of the local Lafourche, where each month we take you up and down our beautiful bayou to show you all of the new and exciting things that are going on right here in Lafourche. Well, the summer travel season is here with thousands of families hitting the open road, and Lafourche Parish is ready to welcome them in with plenty of fun things to see and do this summer, and also some pretty cool ways to beat the July heat. Starting off on our first segment today, it is time to let freedom ring on the bayou as families come together to celebrate our nation's independence. And there is no better place to celebrate than at the Let Freedom Ring Festival this Friday in Pelche Park in Thibodaux. The event will feature a cornhole tournament, bike parade, plenty of vendors, food, live music, and of course, a spectacular fireworks show. Here to tell us all about this year's festival is Miss Lydia Boudreau. Thanks so much for being here.
Hi, thank you.
You're very welcome. So it is time for the Let Freedom Ring Festival. This event seems to grow even more every year and every year. And for those that are listening that haven't been out to it, it takes up all of Pelche Park, and it's just a full day of events. So to start things off, tell us a little bit about the Let Freedom Ring Festival and what's coming up for Friday.
Yeah, so the festival is put on by Tiger Battalion and Company, and that is the JROTC program at Thibodaux High School. Okay. And we work with the city and with the park systems. And we have 28 vendors out there. We have food trucks. We have a petting zoo for the kids. We have so much going on, and we take those proceeds and it goes back into our program to help the kids. And then we also fund the following year's program.
Oh, awesome. So again, as with many of our events, that money that's raised there is going right back into our kids and also into our local community as well.
Absolutely.
So I know there's some really fun features for the event coming up on Friday. There is a bike parade, I believe. So tell us a little bit about this bike parade that's going on.
So the bike parade is huge and it's really popular. You get to come in. We have a contest. There's prizes awarded, and the kids can compete. The adults can compete, and they come in and dress up their bikes and show off their best stuff. Some of them have music. They have lights. Wow. They go all out. And the local bike club in Thibodaux actually helps us coordinate it, and they compete with us.
Oh, that's fantastic. And then I also know, too, moving over to, you have a cornhole tournament. I know this is a very popular sport. I can't believe now it's an Olympic sport, or soon will be. Tell us a little bit about the cornhole tournament this year. What are the times? What's that running? Yeah,
cornhole tournament gets started at 3:30 over on the tennis courts. And it's huge. You can register when you get there. Okay. And it'll be going on most of the afternoon and into the evening over there. And we do have prizes.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
This is a full regulation game,
That's very
too.
serious. I was going to say, I know people take this very serious.
Yes, this is not just recreation like playing horseshoes out on the grass. These folks are serious
They're
business.
very serious about
and we do have a category for the folks who do want to kind of chill and take it easy, too.
Very good. I was going to ask about that. So depending upon what level you're at, whether you're just getting into it or you are an expert, there is a level for you.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, cool. And I know I kind of took this out of order, but let's back up here, too. To begin the day is something that's really special there. And that is the Veterans Breakfast that you put on. So tell us a little bit about that Veterans Breakfast.
Yeah, the Veterans Breakfast is probably the most important part of the day, really. And all the veterans from the area and first responders, they're all invited. It's perfectly free. Okay. And the local veterans groups come out there and they bring their cooktops and park them under the pavilion, and they feed everybody for free.
Awesome. That is a fantastic way, and I encourage everybody to come out and to really be a part of that. Of course, you know, we couldn't do all of this without the headlining event, which is, of course, the fireworks that evening, right? Y'all have I'm sure, a big display again this year.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, this is a huge display. They bring in a professional pyrotechnics company. The city helps coordinate that with a grant from the L'Oreal Foundation.
Oh, very nice.
And this is an impressive display. If I say so myself, it's probably the best one around.
I was going to say, again, like I said at the beginning of the segment, it seems that it gets better and better every year.
Yeah.
What types of vendors I know you mentioned you had 28 vendors, I think, or so that are coming out. What types of vendors are people going to be able to experience there?
We have everything. We have folks making seasonings and spices. We have folks who are making handmade jewelry, jams, jellies, handmade wreaths, gorgeous wreaths.
Wow.
Just something for everyone. Hair bows for the kids, hair bows for the grown-ups, hair bows for the dogs.
everyone.
The dogs. Oh, the dogs. I forgot.
Yes.
We have Salty Paws, which
Very
is
nice.
the area's first frozen treat truck for dogs.
For dogs. Oh, well, so you can bring the entire family.
All of the family.
Including the four-legged child as well.
Absolutely, and they will eat well.
Well, good. I'm very glad to hear it. So is there a price of admission, or is this open and free to the public?
We are open to the public. It is perfectly free, and you can come out, you can eat and drink with all of our vendors, or you're welcome to bring an ice chest and come on out there with your lawn chair just like you would any other time.
Well, it sounds like it will be a wonderful day on Friday, praying that there is no rain and it's a beautiful afternoon and evening. If people want to learn more about the Let Freedom Ring Festival, where can they go?
We have a website at letfreedomringfest.com, and we have a very active social media on Facebook and on Instagram.
Perfect. Well, Ms. Lydia, thank you so much for being here today. We wish you all of great success on Friday and look forward to letting freedom ring in Thibodaux.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And we'll be right back with more of the local Lafourche.
You gotta try this. And some of those. Ooh, and definitely that. You won't be disappointed, but just know you can only get it here. Up and down Louisiana's Cajun Bayou in Lafourche Parish. Y'all come visit. We're just 35 miles south of New Orleans. Hungry? Let's eat!
Welcome back to the local Lafourche. Well, if you're looking for a great way for you and your family to get out this summer and explore our own backyard, then look no further than the Bayou Country Children's Museum STEM Adventure Trail. The STEM Adventure Trail returns for its second year this year with some new additions to the trail, some new stops for the trails that span both Terrebonne and Lafourche parishes. Here to speak with us more about the STEM Adventure Trail is the Bayou Country Children's Museum Director, Miss Rebecca Quinn. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Cody.
You're very welcome. So this is a great program that the Children's Museum launched last year.
Yes.
And y'all have really taken what you learned from last year, built on it, expanded it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool things happening with it this year. So I guess let's start with, what is a STEM Adventure Trail?
The STEM Adventure Trail is an adventure trail for kids and families, and it's something fun, low cost for kids and families to do during the summer months when they're out of school. So there's an education component, and there's a real life, let's get out and be a naturalist and explore the area and have fun while doing it.
Awesome. It's a great way for families to get out, especially if you're looking for maybe some budget-friendly ways to get out and have different experiences with your kids.
Right.
This is a great way to do it. So let's just jump right in. How do you participate in the trail, and how does that work?
Yeah, it's really easy. So I partnered with every library in Lafourche and Terrebonne Parish.
Okay.
So you can go by there, and all you have to say is, I'm here to get my STEM kit. And the STEM kit is this partnership with Bayou STEM, and it has all of the things in the kit for you to become a naturalist. And you take the kit with you, and there's also a brochure that'll talk about all the places on the trail. So we have a Lafourche loop and a Terrebonne loop.
Okay.
And also, if you just want to navigate to our website at bayoustemtrail.com,
Okay.
You can see all of the information there as well.
And I was going to say, I know we're showing a couple of those loops
Yeah.
on screen right now, but yes, you can see all of that there on your website. And it's a really great laid out, easy to use website.
Yeah.
So you can pick up your STEM kits at any
library.
library in Lafourche and Terrebonne.
That's right.
Perfect. All right. That's how you get them. And then how does that work? So you grab your kit and then you go to the website and you start doing those locations that are on the loop.
Right. So this year we've narrowed it down to you only need to complete 3 stops.
Okay.
on a loop to win a prize. Last year, I had you complete a lot more stops.
There was a lot.
There's
had to work a
17.
lot harder last year.
Yeah, there's 17 stops on each loop. Then I realized, like it's kind of hard to get out sometimes with little ones. So 3 stops on a loop will get you a free T-shirt, and 3 stops, so 6 stops total on each loop respectively, you'll get a T-shirt and free admission to the Bayou Country Children's Museum.
Awesome. Well, who doesn't want that? And so, see, it's the gift that keeps on giving. You can complete the trail,
Right.
and you can get a free
Right.
admission into the Children's Museum.
Right. And so what's really great about it is the naturalist component. There's an adventure guide right on our website, and when you download that and look at that, you'll get tools on how to incorporate the science, technology, engineering, and math.
Very nice.
So once you get on the trail, of course you're looking for bugs in your little bug finder.
Okay.
But also there's just some additional resources and materials. So you can actually measure how tall a tree is using the shadow of a tree. So there's the math component. And so kids, anytime you can get hands-on and incorporate what you might know in your mind and have a practicum, then kids get really excited about it, and then they latch on to that information. So I brought my kids on the trail, and we saw some giant grasshoppers that are black with yellow stripes on
I have
them.
seen those before.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So the Lockport, the elevated boardwalk in Lockport was just a really good space to kind of explore the bugs and that kind of thing. So if you're kind of looking for that component and you want to use the magnifying glass and check
That's
out the
the place to
bugs,
go for sure.
that's the place to go. So there were a lot of dragonflies. We took pictures with butterflies. It's simple. It's not, kids don't need a whole lot.
Right.
They just want time with you. And then if you can incorporate a little bit of education, then it's a win.
That's right. And you're learning your own backyard as well, which is really what is so cool about this, is you're traversing all up and down the bayou, both in Terrebonne and in Lafourche.
Right.
And maybe some things that you didn't even know that we had, that existed, that are ways, that maybe you'll want to go back and visit there on your own.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about some of those. I know we're running short on time, but tell us a little bit about some of those stops that are along the trail. I know a lot of them are some of them are attractions, some of them are
You're right.
parks, some
Right.
of them are area businesses.
Yeah, so a lot of people might not know we have a splash pad in Thibodaux.
right.
We have a splash pad. The kids love that. There's also at Laurel Valley, you can go there and feed the animals. Kids always love that kind of thing. There's and down the bayou, there's the Golden Meadow Oak Ridge Park.
Yes.
And in addition, there's the pier in Leeville. You can go fishing
That's right.
there.
That is beautiful there.
Yep. And then the viewfinders in Fouchon. So if you're down the bayou, you're down that way for the 4th weekend or whatever, there's stuff, you only need 3 stops to get a shirt. So kids love that. It's a prize, and kids want to win prizes.
That's awesome.
And Terrebonne has a lot to offer as well. So they have the
Yes.
Mandalay Trail, the La Perouse grocery store. That's a local grocer. And on the back side of his store is it's kind of bedded up a bayou. So it's all this marine life you can check out. They too have a splash pad. So there's something for everybody in the bayou region.
I love that. Love that. All right. So once again, what is the website? Where can people go to learn more? And also want to mention too, and make sure to reiterate, these STEM kits are free.
They're free.
They are free to
They're
pick
free.
up. It's a free activity for you to get out, go around, explore our own backyard. Where can people go to learn more and pick up their kit?
BayouStemTrail.com.
Okay.
Navigate there. You can call the museum. If you forget the website, just call the museum and I'll help you. And then your STEM kit at any library in Lafourche or Terrebonne.
Awesome. Well, we hope all of the families in Lafourche and Terrebonne from the surrounding parishes get out and explore this summer. Rebecca, thanks so much for being here today. We appreciate it.
Great. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. And we'll be right back with our final segment of the local Lafourche.
You gotta try this. And some of those. Ooh, and definitely that. You won't be disappointed, but just know you can only get it here. Up and down Louisiana's Cajun Bayou in Lafourche Parish. Y'all come visit. We're just 35 miles south of New Orleans. Hungry? Let's eat!
Welcome back. Well, you may not have heard, but recently Lafourche Parish was inducted as the final parish to the Atchafalaya National Heritage Area. And this federally designated National Heritage Area is very significant to Lafourche Parish as it opens the doors for tools and resources for our parish, as well as aid in helping us to promote and preserve our authentic Cajun culture and heritage. Here to speak with us about the Atchafalaya National Heritage Area and how it benefits Lafourche Parish is their director, Miss Caroline Casson. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Well, this is exciting. I know for all of us, this has been a long time coming.
Yes.
Y'all have worked very, very hard, and I know Lafourche Parish has worked very hard to get inducted into the Atchafalaya National Heritage Area. So I think before we dive into all of that, what is, for those that may not be familiar, what is the Atchafalaya National Heritage Area?
So we're actually part of a national network, a network of national heritage areas. Lafourche will join 14 other parishes. We were originally designated in 2006, I believe, as a national heritage area. And basically what that is our job is to promote and preserve these unique stories that tell the full American story. So there's the Abraham Lincoln National Heritage Area. That's, of course, about former president. There's the Blue Ridge National Heritage Area. That's kind of about the Americana culture and the music up there. So the Atchafalaya National Heritage Area, what makes us very special is, of course, our water story with the Atchafalaya River and the basin, and kind of those both natural and man-made waterways and structures, and then our Louisiana French heritage. So, we were kind of looking, I started back in 2020, we kind of saw this glaring gap, why wasn't Lafourche included? Because you guys are just such a natural fit with the water and the language. So
Correct.
That's, broadly what the Atchafalaya National Heritage Area is.
Very nice. You put that very well, and I know that's a lot to try and condense down into a very short segment. But it is incredibly important, and the Atchafalaya does some incredible work in this region, and we're very excited to now be a part of that work. So speaking of the work, there was a huge process. It literally was an act of Congress to make Lafourche Parish part of the Atchafalaya National Heritage Area. Tell us a little bit about the process to get Lafourche included.
Yes, so all of these kind of changes, they have to go through Congress. We're a national program. So it's got to come from the grassroots efforts. When we started back in 2020, we were doing a lot of work in Terrebonne, and we had quite a few folks, notably from Thibodaux Main Street and Nichols, reach out and say, hey, why aren't we included? We're kind of doing the same thing. And I think your interviews showed that Terrebonne and Lafourche work very closely together. So we kind of started exploring why weren't you guys included? Why wasn't Lafourche included? So we did our research. We had to conduct a feasibility study where we met with community stakeholders. We met with Lafourche Parish government, the tribes we had to meet with just to say, like, hey, do you guys want it? And then we had to kind of make the argument as to why it wasn't included. So for us, Bayou Lafourche is a historic boundary of the Atchafalaya Basin. It's maybe not the boundary now, but it was, thousands of years ago.
Right.
And Bayou Lafourche is obviously very important to Lafourche Parish. So kind of combined with the community efforts and seeing if people wanted it, as well as the historic research as to why it should be included. We submitted that to the National Park Service. Representative Scalise actually introduced a legislation for us. And then it was a lot of buildup, and then it went really fast.
It really did. I know it went through, and then I know at this legislative session here at the state also had to pass a bill basically inducting this here at the state level, making it official here.
Yes, we need a board seat at the state level.
Correct. So now that all of those formalities are done, Lafourche is officially added. We're excited to be in it. And so that leads me into, what does it mean for Lafourche? What are the benefits derived from Lafourche now being part of the Atchafalaya National Heritage Area?
Well, we can promote the events that you guys are talking about, as well as the attractions to our network. It most importantly unlocks technical assistance and grants for you guys. In the past, people have approached me about funding festivals or funding projects in the area. And while it may go with our mission, we couldn't fund it because you guys weren't included. Now you're included. So once those grants get going again, we've assisted with, kayak launches in parishes. We've funded local musicians. We've funded conservation efforts. So now this just unlocks a pot of funding, as well as our community empowerment program, where we have somebody come in and act as a grant writer, if you don't have one, to assist with those kind of bigger projects with USDA and EDA and all of those things.
And that'll be a huge resource, because I know a lot of times in speaking with a lot of our tourism partners and a lot of local businesses, they get, as with any of us, I mean, even grants that we have to do from our organization, they can be very intimidating. They can be very time consuming. And so there's always usually a lot of questions. And so having those tools and resources to help to go after grant funding, to be able to have the aid from a Chapelline National Heritage Area, that alone in itself is huge. But those are all great resources that are now available to all of Lafourche Parish, which is extremely exciting. And I know that we certainly appreciate all of the work that you all do, to do that, especially lobbying and so on and so forth. I know that y'all are always on the Capitol, especially trying to protect the funding that goes to the National Heritage Areas. They're extremely important, and we want to keep those around. So if people want to learn more about the Atchafalaya National Heritage Area, how to get involved, learn more about what it is and what it means for Lafourche, where can they go?
You can go to atchafalaya.org. You say it like jambalaya. That's kind of how we tell people. It's not like a sneeze. Or you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X at Atchafalaya NHA.
Perfect. Well, Caroline, thank you so much for being here. Lafourche is excited. We are ready to rock and roll with the Atchafalaya National Heritage Area and look forward to much, much success with you all.
We're excited to have y'all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that is a wrap for today's show. But before you go, we encourage you to visit us at lacajunbayou.com or follow along on social media at LACajunBayou. And from all of us at Louisiana's Cajun Bayou Tourism, we would like to wish you and your families a safe and happy Independence Day. We look forward to seeing you back here again next month for a brand new episode of The Local Lafourche.